Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or whatever. How are you all? You're good? Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm going to kick it off with I'm going to answer a question that came in, which was from Hans and Lisa about the difference between a miracle and a wonder. So, great question, guys. And, it was fun to um, contemplate this subject as well. And, it was great to, um, it was a good reminder as well for me, and something that I was like, yeah, I do that without realizing it, but it's like God saying it's time to be more, um, what's the word, focused or more intentional with this subject. So let's take off from that. All right. So let me just talk about what the difference is between a miracle and a wonder. A miracle is an extraordinary event, and it's something that defies the natural law. So it's like if someone is got a disease that's incurable, and then God is released to bring healing onto that person, and they get miraculously healed, right? Like, it defies natural law. And we often focus more on the miracles of healings when there's so many more miracles that we can actually be accessing, or even releasing, and at our disposal, so to speak. So remember, we partner with God, and it's in the asking. So, like, pretty I've had miracles. I've seen miracles that God has done for other people. Example, the lady with the lungs that I've shared about, where where she came in for prayer, and then an angel came in with a tray, and I was like, okay, what's going, well, this is different. And and then when she sat down and told me what she needed, it was already there for her to receive these new lungs, which, totally healed her, like, healed her position. And I physically, in the spirit, saw God replace her old lungs with the new lungs. That was an absolute miracle, but it was also this incredible source of wonder. It was really extraordinary to watch the spirit do that operation on her. So, I'm one thing that's really important that we grasp hold is that just because God moves one way one time doesn't mean that that's how he's going to do it every time. And I find often people that move in miracles always try to make it a format. One of the things that I stay very open in my spirit to God being able to do whatever he wants to do whenever and however, because it's never the same. And the reason that it's never the same is because God is working with that person. He knows that person. He knows how they will respond. That he knows how they what's going on the inside of them. So he's always working with them the way that he created them. He knows perfectly how and what they need. So, it is a miracle is always supernatural. It is always a spiritual aspect. So, let me share a couple of other stories that I've seen miracles in. That there has been financial miracles. So, I'll give you a practical example. We needed to sell a house, and we had paid a certain amount for it, and we needed we needed a certain amount to come back in, right? And the figure that I had, I'll tell you the figure that I put out there was that we needed $825,000. We needed the house to sell at that amount for us to break even. And we put it to auction and it didn't sell at auction. And we went home and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I just knew in my spirit that we were going to sell the house that day. And that was the figure that I was, God, this is what we need. And, you know, I've got people around me that were involved in the situation and they're freaking out and they're going, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I stayed firm in my conviction of what the Spirit had showed me. So what I then did was stayed in the Spirit. I'm like, no, we're going to sell this house today. And we had the agent come back to us 2 hours later. He said, I can't believe this. He said, but I rang up some people that went through your house that didn't even come to the auction, and I have a signed contract for $825,000. So that is a miracle in the sense that it defied natural law. And they didn't even particularly like the house, but they liked some of the aspects that went with the house. And he couldn't believe it either. He's like, I've never seen this done. I said, I don't know how this has happened. But I did. And it was like, and the people that were freaking out, I'm going, I told you that we would sell our house today and this is the price that we would get for it. So that is just one of those examples. It is getting, it's not, oh, I wish. It wasn't wishful thinking. It was a direct, communication with God that he gave me the instructions that I could stand on and then stay true to that. I didn't waver. I didn't look at the circumstances and go, oh, no, God's not coming through for me. Why, God? Why, God? I go, God, you told me. I'm standing on that. So, there are times we need to stand true to our conviction of what we have been shown in the Spirit or what God has spoken to us. So that's just another example. There's so many miracles. And I want to talk about the miracles that we're not even aware of as well. So I was thinking about this while I was, driving to where I needed to be, is that often do you have a pattern where you put your keys in a certain spot and then you go to get them and they're not there? And you're like, I know I put them there. And all of a sudden there's like this 5-minute delay of you looking for your keys. And then you kind of go, oh, I can't. Now, I don't know if you guys do this, but I'm going, okay, God, where are my keys? So, angels, help me find my keys. What's going on here? And I have learnt over the years that delay is often protecting me from something. So, you go back to the same spot and there's the keys. What? How did I not see them before? So you pick up your keys and you get in your car and you drive down the road, and next minute you're driving past this multiple car accident. And I know every time now I go, God, you saved me from that. Because if I had been there 5 minutes earlier, 3 minutes earlier, 1 minute earlier, I would have been involved in that car accident. So that is another miracle. It's like 1 minute your keys are there, next minute you're not. And often people get frustrated. They get angry because they're like, I can't find my keys and I need to go. It's, guys, breathe, just chill. Just know that God is in control of your life if you have surrendered it to him. It's not, God, I'll give you some part of my life and some part I'll keep for myself. It is a total surrender, guys. And it comes from knowing who he is and that he will always have your back. So, for those that biblically, Jesus walking on water was a miracle and that defied natural law. Changing water into wine is, again, it defied natural law. So, there's a couple of scriptural references there. The best one is Jesus, raising Lazarus from the dead after he'd been dead, 3-4 days. And that definitely defies natural law. So, and let's face it, if you want to look at it practically, like Lazarus would have stunk. He'd been dead for 4 days and, he definitely would not have. So there was a lot of miracles in that one. So, you just got to sometimes use your imagination and go into the scriptures that you're reading or the stories that you're hearing and get the bigger perspective. Often we just look at it from a one point of view. And this is something that's always really, really good to do, is that you step back and look at the whole situation. There's, like I said, there's always two sides to a piece of toast. And so it's, we need to start looking things from that 5D perspective so that we're looking above it, around it, under it, in it, through it, so that we get the whole picture, not just one aspect of it. So, so the difference to a wonder, to a miracle, is it's more a sense or a feeling. It's like awe and amazement. Now, often miracles and wonder really do come together because we see this extraordinary miracle or this extraordinary outcome, and it just gives you that sense of wonder and awe. And it's also like a feeling of surprise or admiration. Now, when you have the conviction of what God is telling you, to me, that house story that I told you, it wasn't a surprise. It was a surprise for other people, but it wasn't for me because I had stayed true to what God had told me. I stayed true to hang on. I knew that we were going to sell that house, and we did. And it was, there was a time frame in it. We had to sell it by 5 o'clock that afternoon, and we sold it by 5 o'clock that afternoon. So, these are all the things that when you have situations or circumstances that you're bringing it before God and, you're asking and presenting your needs and asking him for solutions. So, there's wonder in, creation, in sunsets or landscape or, animals. Some of the animals that God's created, like there's a sense of wonder about them. There's a sense of awe and amazement. It's like, wow. And I think we need to do more of that daily. I think when we talk about gratitude, but when we go to wonder, it's higher than gratitude. It is honestly that sense of awe and amazement. And when I contemplate who God is and who he is for me, brings that sense of awe and wonder. And it elevates my spirit, it elevates my heart, it brings me into a higher dimension because my focus isn't what's around me in this world. My focus is purely on him. And that's where often the gratitude will come through as well. And sometimes it brings tears to my eyes because God is so amazing. He is so incredible. And he does beautiful things for me. He's working on me as well as working through me. He works around me, you know, and he's always doing amazing things. And when we draw into that sense of miracles and wonders, and it's not just for me, I want to see people experience this as well. And, you know, people being set free is a miracle because it's defying natural law. It's defying, you know, their head programming or their, you know, generational things. It brings freedom. And that is a miracle too. And we don't really talk about God's miracles and wonders enough. It's like sometimes we can get a little bit complacent instead of looking at it from that perspective. A wonder for me too also is like it's a surprise. It's a fulfillment of a heart's desire. It's a profound outcome or profound appreciation. You know, so I've got some beautiful friends that God has put in my life, and I often think about the things that they bring to my life, and it does bring this incredible sense of appreciation. And often we don't let others know how much we appreciate them, or we don't even share what they bring to our life. And I think that's something that we need to get better at as well. Because I often tell the people in my life that how much I appreciate them. And I let them know the effect that they have on my life, whether it's support, whether it's laughter and friendship and joy, or we just have a good time together, whether we're, you know, playing cards or having a meal. And I let them know how much I appreciate them. Not because I want them to say it back, because I genuinely do. And this is where, when we appreciate one another, when we encourage one another, it actually helps elevate people. It elevates them to see themselves more as God sees them and not as the world has dictated to them, or more, you know, because people don't realize how amazing they are. They they just go, oh yeah, that's just me. But you're going, yeah, but you choose to be that incredible. You choose to be that awesome. You choose to take time. You choose to be helpful, or, you know, a true friend that will be there to support. Like, that's a choice, guys. So, you know, that's a sense of wonder when you have beautiful friends like that around you. And don't ever let anything come between that relationship, because that is often what the enemy will try and break down. And in the sense of try to bring, you know, offense or disunity. Because when we're partnering with one another and when we're partnering with God, we're co-creating. And that's a miracle as well. So when we're looking from God's heart for people's lives, and we're releasing his heart, and then we see that come into their life, that's a miracle as well, because it's bringing change. So, you know, we're designed to walk in miracles and wonders, and you know, the expectation of miracles, I really think, needs to become more of a daily focus, and that we're drawing on the Spirit to do something amazing, or, you know, or encourage someone. Honestly, our words can be a miracle for people. It can change their lives. It can stop them from even committing suicide. So, you know, don't underestimate the fact that who you are and what you carry can and is life changing. It's life changing for yourself, and it's life changing for others. And it can be the littlest things, and we can't underestimate the impact and the influence that we have or that we bring, or the shift in an atmosphere, the life that we can speak, to me, they're all miracles because they are defying natural law. They're defying the spirit of this world. We're defying the agenda of the enemy when we speak life, when we know who we are and what we carry, not out of arrogance, not out of pride, but out of that awe, out of that sense of wonder and amazingness of the God that created us, the one true God that created us, created you and me. And then the influence that we have on others, whether it be big or small, it is all crucial. It is all very important. And it's needed. It's really needed. And sometimes we got to get past our own issues and our own hang-ups to be what God needs us to be for others. These are the miracles of God. The fact that we have this relationship that's available to us, to speak and be directly connected, spirit to spirit, to God is a miracle. Like that miracle that I experienced at the age of 23, it was a miracle. And it defied natural law because I was 1 minute one person and totally transformed and transfigured into another person. And that, I savor that. I ponder that. I ponder on his goodness, because the miracle of it is that it's available to me. His goodness and kindness is available to me. It's available to you guys. It's just a case of us embracing that. It's a case of us pondering it, meditating. And it's always delights my heart when I ponder and meditate on who God is, where it takes me and what it opens up and what it reveals. And then how God just brings change, just layer by layer, so gently and so lovingly. And, that is God. Because often, I've seen too often, I've been to Africa, I've been to so many countries, guys, where I've seen, deliverance ministries that are just purely a show. And it's done in a way that is so dramatic and traumatic to the person that's getting delivered. And we need deliverance. We need that gifting. We certainly need that attribute, but it is always done as with ego and agenda. And that's not God. God doesn't have ego. He doesn't have agenda except to love us. And I think more and more in the days that are coming, we need to know who we are for what's ahead of us, because I really believe that the enemy is going to manifest more and more. And God needs his creation, his children, so to speak, to be able to step in and release that miracle of freedom, to release that awe and wonder of God's power and his presence, but most of all, his love. It's the miracle of love that brings change, that brings breakthrough. It's not done with hitting people over the head with a Bible or threatening them with hell. That's all Satan's tactics. God's whole agenda is love. So the key is, in the miracles that we see every day, is to let God love us and love him in return. When that is in perfect balance, it's very easy to love those around you. Lots of people try to love others, but they don't love themselves. It doesn't work. It's short-lived. Because what underlies that is the person that isn't healed or feels fully loved and accepted will feel unloved and unaccepted because they haven't let God heal their hearts first. So I'm going to leave it there today, because I just feel in the spirit of that's all I need to say. And I just hope that answers that question. And it was a great subject. It was a great question to ask, and I love that you did ask it. And yeah, guys, God is always available, and miracles are always available to us. Every situation, circumstance, there's a miracle waiting to happen. We just got to ask for it. So is there any questions? Thumbs up from Lisa and hands. Everyone else all right, Jenny?
We have no other hands up.
Okay. Well, guys, I've got to go to work. So I'm going to leave it there today. And I'll see you next Friday. I'll be back at home, so I will be able to bring a bit meatier one, I guess. I'll look at presenting about how to stay hidden and protected, and we'll go from there. How's that? Awesome. Love you all, guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dottie. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you, Dottie. Thank you, everyone.
Be
Thanks,
blessed.
everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.
You too.
See ya.